Welcome all of you, Virtual Classes YouTube channel. In this video lecture, we will discussing about the detail of vitamin A, chemistry, biological functions, absorption, their transport, their RDA value, deficiency, and hypervitaminosis. Vitamin A is a fat-soluble vitamins, and they are present only animal food origins. However, their provitamin form also present in plants, and the provitamin form of vitamin A is carotenes. And the history of vitamin A very old. The scientist and the father of medicine, the Hippocrates, about 500 before Christ, they used the vitamin A to cure night blindness, and they prescribed their students, patients, to ox liver in honey to cure night blindness. Now we were discussing about the chemistry of vitamin A, and the vitamin A, both natural and synthetic forms called retinoids. Vitamin A present in a form of vitamins. They are different chemical form, but they perform similar functions of vitamin. Like first form of vitamin of vitamin A, that is retinol, and it is a alcoholic form. And the another form is a retinol, it is a aldehyde form, and another is a retinoic acid, it is a acidic form, and it is a provitamin form, is called beta carotene. First of all, we're discussing about the retinol with alcoholic form. It is a primary alcohol containing beta ion ring, and the side chain has 2 isoprenoid units and 4 double bonds and 1 hydroxy group. And this is the structure of the retinol vitamin A alcoholic form. And this is a 1 beta ionic ring, and this side chain is contain first, second, third, and fourth double bond and single hydroxyl group. Next, we're discussing the second form of vitamin A, that is aldehydic form, known as a retinol. And aldehyde form is obtained from the oxidation of the retinol. That means the alcoholic form oxidations form the retinol form, and the retinol and retinol are interconvertible. The retinol may be changed in the retinol, and retinol may be changed in the retinol. Previously, the retinol form, aldehydic form, is known as retinol. Next form of vitamin A is retinoic acid, and it is an acidic form, and this is also formed by the oxidation of retinol, but the retinoic acid is not interconvertible. The retinoic acid cannot give rise to the formation of retinol or retinol. The last and provitamin form of vitamin A, that is beta carotene, and beta carotene is obtained from the plant food. And cleavage of the beta carotene in intestine produce 2 mole of retinol. And next slide, we can also see that the beta carotene oxidations break down with the help of enzyme dioxygenase, and then this dioxygenase enzyme cleave the beta carotene in the intestine in 2 mole of retinol. This is the 2 mole of retinol by hydrolysis of beta carotene. The hydrolysis of beta carotenes occur in the small intestine. In human, the conversion of insufficient, the retinol cannot sufficiently convert in the retinol. That's why these beta carotene are perform 1/6 activity of retinol. Now we are discussing about the absorption, transport, and mobilizations of vitamin A. In vitamin A cannot synthesize by our body. That's why they are required in our diet. And our diet, plant diet, contains beta carotene, provitamin form, and the animal diet contains retinol in the form of retin esters. And these retinyl esters contain long fatty acids. And after the releasing of these free fatty acids, these retinyl esters convert into the retinol, and these retinol are absorbed in the small intestine. Like that, the beta carotene are also absorbed by the small intestine. The small intestine has a brush borders, microvilli structure that increase the surface area, that increase the absorptions of molecules. The absorptive beta carotene in small intestine are break down by the dioxygenase enzyme, and 1 mole of beta carotene are converted into the 2 mole of retinol, and this retinol is further changed into the retinol. And after the adding of these fatty acid, these retinol convert in the retinol esterase, and these retinol esterase are transferred in the liver because they are fat solubles. That's why they cannot transfer with the bloodstream because they are fat solubles. That's why they require the chylomicrons for their transport. The chylomicrons transport the retinol esterase into the liver, and the liver, the transretinol in storage form is retinol palmate. These retinol stored in the liver in retinol palmate, and most of the retinol are transferred in the eye retina, and these all transretinol convert into the all transretinal and help in the visual cycle, that is also known as Wald cycle. And some of all transretinol are bind to the target site with the help of retinol binding protein. The sum of retinol attached to the retinol binding site and form a intermediate complex, that is retinol and retinol binding proteins. The retinol binding proteins help in the targeting the target cells. After the reaching the targeting cell, these retinol binding proteins are released and the retinol enter in the target cell. After the entering the target cell, the retinol are changed in the retinoic acid in the target cell, and these retinoic acid act as a nuclear transcription factor and act as a genetic material and help in the transcription of the genetic material. After the transcription, these genetic material change into the mRNA, and these mRNA undergo the process of translation and form a specific protein, and these specific proteins help in the differentiations and perform a specific function. So this is the absorption, transport, and mobilizations of vitamin A. Now we are discussing about the biological functions of vitamin A. So main functions of vitamin A is it helps in the visions, and the another function, it also perform essential functions to maintain health of the epithelial tissue. And another function is retinol and retinoic acid act as a steroid hormones. That's why they help in the regulate of the protein synthesis, and these protein synthesis help in the cell growth and differentiations. The another functions of vitamin A, the retinylyl phosphate that synthesized from the retinol that are necessary for the synthesis of the certain glycoprotein, and these glycoproteins are required for the growth and mucus secretions. That's why they are indirectly help in the synthesis of the certain glycoprotein. And the retinol and retinoic acids are involved in the synthesis of transferrin. The transferrin is a iron transport protein, and it is a conjugated protein that help in the transport of iron molecules. Next, functions of vitamin A, that importance essential functions to proper immunofunctions, that immunofunction help against the various infectious diseases. And the another function, it also help in the cholesterol synthesis. And next function is carotenoid forms of vitamin A, that is provitamin. These carotenoids act as a antioxidant, and these antioxidants reduce the risk of cancers by initiating the free radicals, and it also prevent the heart attacks. These are the some biological functions of vitamins, but most important function of vitamin A, that is it help in the visions. For these visions, two type of the cells help. First one is rod cells and second one is cone cells. Rod cells help in the night visions, while cone cells help in the day vision. Next, we discussing the dietary source because we already talk about vitamins cannot synthesize by our body. That's why they are required in our diet. First of all, we discuss the animal diet. The best source of animal diet is liver, kidney, egg yolk, milk, cheese, and butter. And fish like cod and shark, liver oil also very rich in vitamin A. Now we talk about the animals product. In animals, in plant, the vegetable source contain the provitamin A in the form of carotene, and the vitamin A best source are yellow and dark green vegetables. Fruits are the very good source for carotenes like carrots, spinach, amaranthus, pumpkins, mango, papaya, etc. These are some good source of vitamin A from the plant. Now we're discussing the recommended dietary allowance and sort in known as RDA. The RDA of vitamin A for adults is around 1000 retinol, equivalent to 3500 international unit for men, while in case of women's 800 retinols, equivalent to 2500 international unit, and the one international unit is equal to 0.3 mg of retinol. The requirement of vitamin A, it increase in the case of growing children, pregnant women, and lactating mothers. Now we're discussing about the deficiency of the vitamin A. If our diet cannot provide the sufficient amount of vitamin A, this leads the deficiency symptoms. The deficiency symptoms of vitamin A are not immediately, because the vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamins. That's why they can be stored in our body in the liver, adipose tissue. That's why the hepatic store of vitamin A can meet the body requirement for a quite some times, that 2 to 4 months cannot prove a symptoms. The deficiency manifest may be related to the eyes, skin, and growth. First of all, we talk about the deficiency manifestations of the vitamin A on the eye. The first one is a night blindness. It is also known as nystopia. It is the one of the earliest symptoms of vitamin A deficiency. First of all, deficiency of vitamin so night blindness, and severe deficiency of vitamin A leads to the xerophthalmia. This is a characteristic of the dryness of the cornea. In the xerophthalmia, the cornea of eye very dryness, and these xerophthalmia persist in a long time that cause corneal ulcerations and degenerations that referred as a keratomalacia that cause total blindness. If any person's small and first symptoms of vitamin A deficiency, that is night blindness, if these persist in a long time, it is known as xerophthalmia, and xerophthalmia occurs in the very long time, that calls keratomalacia. And now we're discussing the deficiency effects on the growth. Vitamin A deficiency result the growth retardation due to impaired skeleton formations. It is also affect the reproductions of the animals, because in case of man, the spermatogenesis process, the sperms are formed from the primary epithelial cells, primary germ cells. In the case of deficiency of vitamin A, because vitamin A helps in the proper growth of epithelial cells. That's why the degenerations of the epithelial cells that leads in the sterility in the males, because they are degenerated, because vitamin A does not provide in the diet sufficient. Now discussing the effect on the vitamin A on skins and epithelial cells. The skins of deficiency of vitamin A become rough and dry, and this is called keratinizations of epithelial cells, or gastrointestinal tract, urinary tract, and respiratory tract are noticed, and these infections leads to the bacterial infection. These are the some deficiency symptoms of vitamin A that also affect in the growth, reproduction, skin, and epithelial cells. But main disease of vitamin A deficiency, that is night blindness. Now we're discussing about the hypervitaminosis of A. Like that, earlier talk about vitamin A is a fat soluble vitamin, that's why they can be stored in our body. That's why the accumulation of vitamin A in our body, excessive consumption of vitamin A leads to the toxicity. The symptoms of vitamin A with hypervitaminosis A that include dermatitis, that is drying and redness of the skins, and enlargement of liver, skeleton decalcifications, tenderness of long bones, loss of weight, irritability, loss of hair, joint pains. These are the some symptoms of hypervitaminosis A. So this is the very quite discussion of the vitamin A, like chemistry, biological functions, RDA value, absorptions, hypervitaminosis. If you like this video lecture, please subscribe the YouTube channels for upcoming videos. Thank you.